Hello everybody and welcome to Week in Technology. Normal business resumes this week as Aisha is back from her Raya break, energized and ready to rock and roll, as you Gen Ys would say. Okay, we're going to start off with as usual with the cover story for the week. Very interesting.
Oh, you forgot to introduce our new background.
I was hoping viewers would see it for themselves and talk to us about it when they meet us.
I don't know how many regular viewers we actually have that would notice the difference, but yeah, we've got a new hi Dad, we've got a new I don't know, send us a feedback if you like it better than the previous one.
Yeah, of course, I'm sure it's a lot better. I guess I would have just put /technology for the URL.
Yeah.
But then, I mean, people know how to, where to find us anyway. So anyway, we're going to start off with the cover story for the week. A very interesting story about a Malaysian entrepreneur who has raised $20 million okay, in angel and venture capital funding. But I'll leave that for Aisha to talk about. And we'll talk a little bit about a conference that I spoke at Intan, which is the, let me get this right, is the major training arm of the Public Services Department. And its mission is to develop human capital in the public sector through excellence in training. So they had the yearly civil service conference, and which is the 14th. I was invited to be a speaker and spoke on green technology or options for Malaysia. Yeah, I'll share a little bit about what I spoke of. But before we do that, Aisha, the floor is yours. For talking about Mr. YKit Lau, right?
Yeah, so
and his business.
On the cover, I interviewed a Malaysian who's based in Boston. His startup is called Scan Scout, and what his company does is
Scan Scout, right? One word.
Scout,
okay.
Yeah. So what they do is he's trying to. What I find interesting about him is that he was talking about, because he studied in MIT. He's originally from Ipoh. And he started with a video search engine. And
I think before we go there, he studied at MIT and, get this, he's got a triple major, okay, before doing his MBA, right, at Harvard. It's like mind-blowing.
This guy's got I mean, if you Google him up, he's got an impressive list of, things that he's done. Yeah. But anyway, his startup right now is called Scan Scout. Yeah, he started out with a video search engine, but then he said that they never released it to the public, and they focused on video ads. Because
but this video search engine was in what, 2004, right?
2005, I think, or 2004. Okay. But the thing is that I think this is something that's interesting, because he says that he's currently doing video ads. Okay. So if you because online video is fast picking up, and so what he does is he overlays advertisements at the bottom, or even he pre-rolls them before the video starts.
Okay, pre-rolls mean the ad comes
before the actual video itself. But that's the thing, it says that they chose this path because this is a deterministic problem. It's a more relevant problem that if they can solve it, that's where the money comes in. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs make the mistake, especially in Malaysia, they make the mistake, I mean, talking to industry insiders, they make the mistake of, thinking of, the latest and the greatest, and they want their technology to be the fastest and, with more features. But that's not it, I mean, entrepreneurship is about solving problems, and I think that's one of the things that they've gotten right. And like you rightfully said, I think they've raised about US 20 million in funding, including angel investors, including angel investors that had previously bet on Google. And they're doing really well. I think ComScore, I think it's the listed company in New York. They do a lot of statistical report, and then they rank Scan Scout as the #1 in-stream video ad network, because they reach around 80 million unique viewers monthly. And I think his clientele include big names like Toyota and McDonald's and like Warner Brothers. Okay. And it's interesting also, and he also bought, and I think one of the questions I asked him is like, because he came down here for the MSC Open Source Conference. That's why you first met him, okay.
Yeah,
that was where I met him, and then, I think it was in June, and I asked him what is his impression of Malaysian entrepreneurs. Because a lot of people say that when we do start our business model, we don't think globally, we're just thinking of the small Malaysian market, and he says that interestingly, he says it's not really about not thinking globally. He thinks it's probably a lack of confidence or bravado. But he says that in most cases, confidence actually comes from looking at success stories before, and he says that Malaysia needs a set of successful companies that other entrepreneurs can actually look at how the journey is, aspire to enjoy. And he says that's how Silicon Valley came to be. It is, and the thing is, Intel was like 40, 50 years ago, and he says the first few initial success was Intel, in the likes of Intel and Texas Instrument, and those are feeder companies that can grow the next subsequent set of entrepreneurs. So we need basically I don't know, at least one breakout success story that is really, I mean, it's prevalent in the mainstream, and also that sort of affects consumers' lives, I think. And I think when entrepreneurs see that, they see the journey, they understand how it's done, then only can you grow.
When they read about it, not just inspire, but I think it keeps feeding the dreams of other entrepreneurs, who want to make it big too, and they can do it. No, but you mentioned the example of AirAsia as a possible, one example of a success story in Malaysia that could inspire other entrepreneurs.
Exactly.
AirAsia is very much entrepreneur-led. But you also used this, the quote there I thought was quite interesting that we used, which is over here. What was the term? What was the term that uses for this?
A successful initial wave of companies where aspiring entrepreneurs can witness their journey to success. So maybe I don't know. Maybe it's about time that MSC sort of just concentrates on a few, promising companies and grow them to be global brands instead of spreading thin. We have a lot of SMEs. We don't have any large enterprises.
But I think they tried that at one point. I know when they had a different senior vice president, and this was Sarina Karim from one of the pioneer batch, and she said they were looking to grow global icons, but the time frame is too short, really, to grow a global company. Even though you said that with the internet era, right, you can come up with your billion-dollar companies within 4 years or 3 years or 5 years, but outside of Skype, and I could be wrong, which is based in the US, or the few other global billion-dollar companies that have come out have been based in the US. So obviously it's not that easy at all if you're not based in the US. And even I think WIT was saying if he wasn't based in the US, I mean, I think viewers, you would share the same view that there's no way he would have raised close to 20 million ringgit, or maybe rupiah, much less 20 million US dollars, by being based in Malaysia. But because he's based in the US, where he says the ecosystem is already quite robust. And interestingly enough, he says the ecosystem is the most robust in the Silicon Valley, and even in Boston where he's based, there have been debate and discussion about how to make, Boston even more entrepreneurial. And that brings me, and he says it takes time. It took the Silicon Valley 3-4 decades. And throughout the years when I've been covering the international advisory panel meetings, all these senior people who come down, they tell me during the press conference and privately that it takes time, you have to be patient. And in the early days, I thought they were just patronizing us, maybe we're just not that smart or don't have it, to do it. But after reading what, WIT says, I'm beginning to realize maybe time is an important ingredient, for us to slowly grow. And we are slowly now putting together the ecosystem. So I guess it is a function of time. It's making me reflect back on the fact that these senior people, over the years telling me it takes time. There is some merit to what they're saying. But anyway, with that, we'll leave the transforming the nation, constructing the future, investing in prosperity for next week. We're going to wrap up now. We're almost at the 10-minute mark where YouTube will cut us off, ruthlessly. Have a great and productive week ahead with technology, and we're going to see you next week.